that could be. A lot of these pro players want to believe that they are the step above. So we're going to continue to see the series if it folds out that way. We're going to have a look at the maps. It's going to be Dragonshire. Could we see that Chen? We are hopeful. It's been most of the times that we've seen anti-hero on this map.
The Pandaren Brewmaster is a hero that not everyone fully respects or understands. He doesn't rank particularly high on tier lists around the world. We don't see him a lot. He's not an easy hero. But what Chen does is he has shields, which he gets from drinking booze. Of course, don't do that in real life, but in the game it's different. The Pandaren Brewmaster is an excellent solo laner who has a lot of self-sustain and mobility when played well. His major weakness, as for so many heroes, are stunts. Although, if you are anti, apparently as Illidan, you can dodge a whole lot of them.
Apparently, yeah, you can dodge a whole lot of them, and you can just not care about a lot of them and tank through them. That is the same for Chen as well.
And the cool thing about Chen is his heroic Wandering Cake, probably the one that Anti would be using if we do see him on Chen, is a great initiation and displacement tool. Well, let's see how it shakes out. First bans by beGenius so far have been Ario and Cassia.
Yeah, we'll see if... there's no real theme here in their bans. They are just going with what they think that works on the map here. This time, Anubarak getting some love in the ban area this time, like he did in America yesterday, but not so much in Europe, where he was just picked every time. So, and a Gul'dan also banned out by Team Gangang.
All right, Falstad going to be coming out. Yeah. We've seen a relatively low prioritization on globals in general. In the European Crucible so far?
We have actually, yeah. That's
even on maps that are known for them.
Yeah, we've seen more like Vikings and Abathur than we have seen like the normal globals, like Fast and Dahaka. We have seen a bit of Dahaka though, like 2 or 3 games. Greymane coming in again with Leoric this time, not going for that Arthas Greymane combo that we see so much. So Gangang, Leoric is probably the solo laner here. We might not see that Chen unless they go for both.
Yeah, I don't think we will, as it's Anti playing both, right?
It should be. That would make sense. Like, BKB could play Leoric, but I would feel more confident in saying that this would be their solo laner because he's one of the best.
Now let's talk about what Leoric and Greymane entails here. They are the warrior-killing heroes of their own role. Leoric being the warrior, it's warrior world, and Greymane is the assassin who does so with Cursed Bullet. That means that certain picks are much less attractive for beGenius. For example, Stitches, Cho'Gall really go down in popularity here. And that's why I like that beGenius is going for a triple backline here, not emphasizing their front line as much, and getting out that Ragnaros that they showed a lot of favor for in their last Pro Division games.
Yeah, actually seeing it come out here as opposed to bans that we've seen mostly throughout the HGC. We did see it picked yesterday, although we didn't see too many landed Sulfura smashes, but was still very effective, worked very well for, I believe it was Zealots who were playing that, so did work out for them in the end.
Yeah, Zeratul Rag, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was lovely. So Gangang, what are we seeing? A Varian ban. It was probably Illidan's biggest problem last game, so that is very much fair enough, and that healing reduction is scary. One of only, I believe, 2 heroes who actually has healing reduction.
Valera,
oh, 3
Wood
then.
Poison,
Valera, Varian, and Zul.
Zul?
Zul has a level 20 thing on his side.
Right, yeah. I was thinking of the troll.
No, not Zul Jin.
Yeah, Zul, yeah, that's right.
There is no data, only Zul. But not on this map, unfortunately. We've already had 2, which is the one we most likely see Zul on. Black Hearts was actually in the map pool, but it is not in this particular case.
Baron's a smart ban for Gangang because you're wondering which warrior can stand by himself against percentage-based damage from Leoric and Greymane. Varian. Protected, protected, protected. Would work pretty well. Yeah. Okay, this is a very smart ban. So I'm looking forward to seeing, okay, what is beGenius going to be picking as their frontliner?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure against that. Maybe Muradin? Like, he gets chunked pretty hard, but then he has many health bars.
True, that would be nice. Muradin would be good. Maybe a Tyrael, just for the sanctification's sake, which would also help out Nazeebo a lot from any other forms of damage we could see.
And a reliance on shields for part of his survivability, maybe. Possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrael would actually be quite nice. He can escape Entomb, he's got shield, sanctification, and he can go for a healing build rather than something like Burning Rage. But for now, Gangan is going to be picking up Mouth and Arthas.
Yeah, so Arthas being taken away as that tank that could counter Greymane when he's in his melee form. Instead, going to be playing with the Greymane like we saw in the first game. Uther coming in, and they do still go with that Muradin. So now they have Muradin, but they also have some armor to assist him in his survivability.
Of course, armor is ignored with the percentage-based damage, but it will help after the aftermath of those abilities. A lot of burst heal as well, possibly Divine Shield here, much more likely than Divine Storm. Nice on Ragnaros and Muradin. We've got a lot of strong damage and lockdown by beGenius. I'm liking their draft.
Yeah, like BTS do have, like you say, Divine Shield is more likely, and I agree with you. They do have some crazy wombo potential if they did want to go Divine Storm into Sulphurous Smash.
Ravenous Spirit.
Ravenous Spirit. This is not China, Grubby. What are you thinking? For those who haven't been watching the Chinese HGC, for starters, you should. It is very fun. But Ravenous Spirit currently has a crazy win rate over there. It only comes out rarely. Oh my god, I completely forgot.
Yeah!
He's just been ignored so much.
He was all over the place yesterday.
What happened? Just completely ignored for the entire first 2 games.
Notice me, Senpai, says Genji, who now enters the draw finally.
I need to be played.
I need to be picked. Okay, so he gets picked there, and how do we like that? Let's see. They're against a triple damage team.
Yeah,
and that's
which
usually
could
nice.
Get a lot of resets from if you can do it well.
And he's got some pretty decent poke damage, which Uther doesn't feel as comfortable about, as he's more about burst, less sustain
heal. Go for
heal.
Dragon Blade, which means he can just focus the target that isn't Divine Shielded with that, as opposed to X-Striking and just having that person de-shielded.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like that pick a lot. I don't know who's going to play it.
Gotta be Anti.
Oh, Anti probably on Leoric.
Yeah, excellent point.
And we've got Raid Balls. It's probably Greymane.
Yeah. Well, we can actually see it on our loading screen here, so we can actually see who is playing it. It's Raid Boss
on Genji, Z3 on Greymane. Okay.
Anti-Hero is on Leoric, so Anti-Hero is going to be living in top lane, guys. You'll see him in about 10 minutes. He will return after he's pushed. He'll return probably after he's got the fort, maybe the keep. This is the Anti-Hero we know, where it's just like, okay, guys, see you later. I'm just going to win top lane forever.
Well, he's up against Ragnaros. Ragnaros does pretty okay against Leoric, I think, but skill does enter the fray as well as ganks. Falstad finally is as part of the battlefield as well.
Genji is very good at ganks.
Oh yeah, both Falstad and Genji are going to be paying visits to that top lane. So let's see how it shakes out.
We shall see indeed. Overall, whose draft do you prefer?
I think it's pretty even. I think both drafts are strong. I wouldn't say I prefer one particularly to the other. I think execution and skill is going to be crucial.
Okay, and now that we have a Genji, do you change your mind on Divine Shield? Because that's 2 very aggressive heroes that are going to be moving into melee range. 3 if you count Malfurion when he moves into Cast Twilight. I
think it's still Divine Shield. We've got Uther solo support with triple damage. You don't need more lockdown per se. You've got Sulphurous Smash, Hammer of Justice, and Stormbolt and Thunderclap. I think you need protection. Don't give Genji resets and take it from there.
Sounds very reasonable. So overall, teams comps look fairly even this time. We are excited for this. So I will say the Genji is going to be, if he can get onto Nazeebo, this could just be straight away over. But once again, we're on about the resets here.
Yeah, I mean, Genji is going to be all over the map. Lockdown is limited mostly to a very difficult skill shot in Stormbolt and Hammer of Justice at melee range. I think he can move around with relative impunity, and if played well by Raid Balls and by Gangan, I do think he will be quite a threat.
Well, let's see if they can. We are heading into game number 3 of this best of 7 series. And it's going to be on Dragonshire. Spawning on the left-hand side, it is the 4/5 French and 1 Russian. Unstable on Uther. Danatan on Ragnaros. Arcane on Nazeebo. Kurba is playing the Falstad. And Tank for the win is on Muradin. They are beGenius from the HGC.
And on the right side, the winner of the Open Division playoffs in Europe, it's Gangan BKB on Arthas. It's Anti-Hero on Leoric. Raid Balls on Genji. Z3 on Greymane. And of course I missed one. And they are going to be on the right in the red.
Already poke damage being exchanged. Shuriken versus a big hammer covered in lightning. And apparently they trade for even damage.
Is it?
This is always fun. Well, they looked pretty even in terms of the damage
Oh,
that they both took
I thought
there.
you did the math.
No,
They did the monster math.
The monster map.
All right,
So
look at this.
Clearing this up. He's not in top lane yet. He's just getting rotating a bit. And that's good because there was a big old group up getting ready to try and kill him.
Yeah, they wanted to have a 3 versus 2. Leoric versus Rag. Fair, right? Genji comes in. Suddenly, Murden, Uther. But it was not to be. Gangan had different ideas. Agile dismount on Genji. If he is mounted and he jumps in with Cyber Agility, he will have it on cooldown of just 5 seconds instead of 10.
BKB taking some damage, but surviving quite nicely there. But yeah, the Uther level 1 going to allow him to spread as much armor as physically possible, because I believe it is every heal that gives armor from him there. So if he's able to hit his team when they're grouped up, armor for everyone.
Yeah, he gets mana and cooldown reduction for every target he hits with that wave of light. It's a quest, and completing it will help a lot with the sustained protection against spread damage of Genji, Greymane, and Arthas.
Rotations for now.
Look at that Falstad talent pick, by the way. Bribe.
Ooh, I like it. This is fun. You can steal the enemy's Siege Giant camp very nicely, and it actually does do a decent amount of damage. Takes down a tower on its own if it is left unattended. Yeah,
and I think it's the denial of it as well that makes this an important pick. And I think you're absolutely right. It has to be steals on enemy camps, be it Bruiser or Siege, just to gain control of the map in such a manner. Taking your own with Bribe is simply not worth it on Dragonshire. There aren't enough camps to merit taking your own generally.
This is for stealing. This has got to be for stealing.
Like, anyone can summon 2 heroes for a moment, for a rotation, to take your own siege. It doesn't take a long time. So the Bribe must be a... Yeah, must be a steal. He gets bribe stacks from minion kills, Falstad.
Yeah, so let's see if this is going to be... It's full... It's at least the start of full lightning, so he's getting the extra damage from level 1. Every time he does bribe a mercenary, he gets extra damage on his lightning rod, and now with the static shield, he also gets some sustain out of it. You can get synergy, but it's very much a single target style of thing, which dropping onto a tank can still be reasonable. Oh, damage being dropped onto Muradin. BKB trying to body block him, but he's Muradin, so he just jumps away.
Entangled gingerbread zombies. Zombies were summoned there. Oh, I think that's a Dragon Knight.
They're trying it. Falstad tried, but yes, it is. Raid Boss taking that. That Genji mobility really helping him get there in time. Moves up to the top lane. Downatown and Anti-Hero quite close on health. So Downatown's going to have to play a little bit further back while the Dragon Knight's here. Instead, though, drops into that Molten Core just to siege the Dragon Knight. Not even just to protect the fort if the Dragon Knight was going for it. Just to siege it and try and make it go away.
It's interesting that he would leave with the Dragon Knight. Generally, the first DK will have a shorter timer than the amount of HP that is remaining. Generally, what I'm trying to say is it will time out before it dies. So leaving just because of a bit of poke damage of Ragnaros doesn't seem like a necessary move. Instead, wanted to join up in the middle and get 2 more towers.
Which is still quite nice. Works out. Uther going with the hammer. Going to take that level 4 talent, which is the Pursuit of Justice. Increasing Uther's movement speed when he's able to hit a hero, which can seriously help out if he was going for Divine Storm and also just for trying to keep up with Genji, keep him locked down.
Yeah, it's an escape as well. It's 3 seconds, 20% movement speed. The alternatives are not as important sometimes.
Holy Fire for wave clear, which you don't need with this kind of composition.
Right.
Holy
you don't
Shot for poke.
You never want to stand next to Arthas or Leoric anyway. As an Uther, you're going to die. So
it is nice to see. But now, though, he is assisting Tank for the win in clearing up these mercenaries. BKB does scout it, though. Are they going to try and raid? It will be 3v3 with Genji on the way and Falstad within fly range.
4v3
they are going to try. They're moving in, and Muradin makes it over to zombies, but
Genji?
here's Raid Boss trying to poke down. There's the stun. Cyber Agility moving in, gets the kill. They want another. They turn onto Uther, and he will drop 2, as will the Fountain, and that is a big chunk of XP for Gangang.
Now, let's talk about what happened there. beGenius starts taking the Bruiser camp. They see 2 members on the map, 3 missing. This situation persists for at least 10 seconds, and they never check the bush right next to them. There is a serious case of either complacency or underestimation or lack of experience. It's got to be one of those 3, where they don't check the bush and they don't intuit that Gangan might be setting a trap for them there. A kind of Not an unforced error. It's definitely only an error when it gets punished. But still, Gangan, they did a very nice move, and beGenius kind of just let it happen. It seemed too simplistic to work at this level.
So Falstad with that boomerang, helping him clear minions so that he gets more stack on Bribe. We've already seen him use a couple on his own Bruiser camp, which is fine. Still gets some pressure on, and it gives him more damage, so he can just stack it up quite nicely.
Plus, there were no available allies at that time.
Very true. So he didn't want to try and make a raid. The Siege Giant camp has already been taken as well by Gangang. It's currently making its way to the bot lane.
Very quick reaction there by Anti-Hero. Wraith Walk will make you unstoppable, Stormbolt will not stun you, and he gets out. Now, level 10 is reached. The gap is not large yet.
Ooh.
A little bit larger now, as Nazeebo gets picked off. Nazeebo got Arthas and Genji'd.
Yeah, even Malfurion. He was able to assist with that as well.
I don't think Malfurion is a verb.
Malfurion?
Genji'd, Arthas, yes.
you can be Malfurion. Get 5-man Twilight Dreams. That is absolutely getting Malfurion.
Fair enough. We'll add it to the Oxford Dictionary.
I do love that we use heroes as verbs. It is fun, and I probably used the wrong word there, the wrong descriptive. Either way, we're seeing the aggressive push coming in. BKB going to take out yet another fountain. The only fountain left currently is, in terms of tier 1s, is the one in mid lane. Curse Bullet does miss, but the Dragon Knight was taken, looking to remedy that top lane fountain situation.
Divine Storm or Divine Shield? We know it's going to be Divine.
It's
so divine.
It is so divine. What can they do with it?
I had someone on the ladder ask, shall I get Divine Storm or Divine Shield? Someone said, get Divine. Like,
yeah, Divine.
Okay, thanks, dude.
Yeah, helpful. It's Storm. They're going for that lockdown.
Oh, it's Divine Storm, yeah.
It is Divine Storm. That's going to be cool. Rag popping Molten Core. Dragonite immediately pulling back. But yeah, they have a crazy amount of wombo potential, and of course it does give them a better opportunity to catch Genji before he is able to escape. When he comes in with Dragon Blade, lock him down with the crazy amount of stuns they have, and see if they can kill him off before he's able to start getting those resets. Yeah,
Genji gets a protected status, but it's stunnable. It's basically a moving channel. Anytime you stun him, that damage of the stun will be blocked, but all future damage will be applied. The protected ends immediately. So getting a Hammer of Justice and follow-up Divine Storm generally is going to get him killed. Keep in mind also that Malfurion does not have burst healing. It gives about 250 healing on the first hit, and then 16 seconds heal over time. He is the sustain healer in the game. He's a walking healing fountain handout.
Yes, he is, which is always nice to. It's always nice. And it can also lead to one of the most baits I have seen in terms of Hero League, where people will always go for Life Seed because, oh, I just give my team more healing, and then die before it can be used because they didn't take Ice Block.
Yep.
This happens a lot. This is why we will see pro players take Ice Block because, yeah, Life Seed healing's nice, but you can't heal if you're dead.
But that's the win rate of Life Seed.
The win rate, it's so good. But no, both are viable. It's just if there's a lot of hard engage, then you kind of need Ice Block to survive. So, go up, it's fine. Able to barrel roll away nice and easy. He is, once again, he's still getting his bribe stacks. He's still getting ready to stack up for all that extra damage. And we'll keep an eye on that for you guys.
Now, beGenius, they still have that Nazeebo. They would still love to get to level 16 and 20. And they're doing a better job of staying in the race than they did in game number 1, where they also had Nazeebo on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but suffered a very harsh defeat at the hands of Team Gangan. They're only half a level down. In terms of having 3 takedowns in their not favor, they're doing really well. They're getting the same level soon. They even down a forward, but they've been doing great at soaking experience. So I really like the way beGenius is doing it so far, but they need to flip the switch at some point. Yeah, you can't only get by passively.
Yeah, they're not currently 4 levels behind as they were at one point. There's the Entomb onto Araken. He is the target here. He does have Ice Block available, and the Entomb drops down before he is focused. Falstad, Gust
Divine
in.
Storm!
Divine Storm on 3 members. Zay is able to escape. Raid Boss turning it round. They turn it around with a Twilight Dream. Kronad's getting killed off by the Molten Core, but he's dodging all directions. Uther and Muradin have already done. Kronad he almost survived, but he finally gets killed off. But it's still a 3-for-1 in favor of Gangang.
This is just pure class.
Oh, Genji, please.
Pure class by Team Gangan to be in a situation where you get Mighty Gusted, 3-man Divine Storm. So first smash comes out on Malf, on Kronaz. He Ice Block dodges it, then plays Frogger for half a day, trying to dodge Ragnaros' molten lava. Let's see that again. Look at this engage. Ice Block is available for Nazeebo. They go on Murden, the dodge. This looks like a glory moment for beGenius. They have everything they need. Divine Storm, smash, Ice Block.
And then Raid Boss drops that dragon. Kronas starts playing dodgeball down at the bottom of your screen there. Raid Boss just had to pull back before he started getting in serious trouble with that Dragon Blade as he did not have deflect up. Unstable, finds BKB, not enough damage to finish him off.
That was a 1 for 3 in favor of Team Gangan. The level lead hasn't really grown too much, and Leoric apparently died in the last 20-30 seconds or so, so that's something. Now beGenius needs to stop the Dragonite from getting taken. There's step number 1.
Interrupt, but no one else is in range.
Oh, nice job.
I didn't even notice that. Good job, Falstad. Kira catching in. And speaking of catching fire, taken by Ragnaros and completed by Ragnaros.
Will someone help Ragnaros already? He's catching fire. Hurricane trying to get away.
Stop, drop, and roll. Nice use the Entomb. Doesn't even catch him in the Entomb. Just uses the wall to block him in. The Ice Block is dropped, though,
nice.
Him alive, drops the Zombie Wall. Cursed Bullet used on him. The slow, the Divine Storm, and Hurricane escapes. And that was a lot of stuff used to keep him alive, but the fact is he did survive while the Dragonite was snuck away by Team Gangang.
Third Dragonite in a row. Genji has that. He's going to use it to clear wave and get experience soon. But look at that XP bar. beGenius is working magic. Down in forts, down in takedowns, but somehow they're really good at killing minions. They're going to be reaching level 16, and they're going to get that spider colony at level 16 for Nazeebo, where he can cast it pretty much twice as often. The spiders. It's going to do a lot of damage.
So many spiders. Tank for the win. Being a little bit annoying. Just poking from the side with that Storm Bolt. Getting a couple extra stacks. There is 16 available for beGenius. They are on even tabs. Cursed Bullet used on Unstable. Here's the Grey Maid. And Unstable is finished off. But the Molten Swing is good.
Smash
they dodge
misses.
the Sulfurous Smash though. Here's the Gust again. Putting them in range. Sulfurous Swing gets all 4. They turn it around. They've already taken down the Grey Maid. They're trying to get Kronas. But the healing is keeping him alive. He's keeping himself going while Arthas is trying to save him by staying behind. They Twilight Dream to try and turn it around, but it only hits Muradin. Koa trying to chase in. Ice Block is dropped.
Dragon Blade.
Raid Boss with the Dragon Blade. He gets 1. He needs to get over the wall to get back to BKB. They're trying to turn it around here. Danatan dropping low. He's rooted. Getting taken out. BKB with no health, but he keeps going. And Nazeebo will drop 2.
Oh,
what a turnaround.
Wow.
Oh, he at least got BKB.
Very nicely done. Getting BKB there finally. The keep goes down also. And once again, such an even situation. Such a wonderful fight by beGenius with the Mighty Gust. If anything, the one thing that I think really went wrong a little bit is the early use of Sulfurous Smash. You're going up against all kinds of protection. Hold that smash longer as a threat. Let that moment pass by. Uncontested, where you think, okay, this is a first smash moment. Cast it a little bit later, because the Gust followed smash, and that's not usually the way you want to do it. But still, that looks such a great fight for beGenius, and somehow Gangan turned it around. Amazing. We can get that keep.
We can absolutely, though, say that Falstad has been the bane of Gangang's existence this entire time. These aggressive Gusts have very nearly destroyed them multiple times. Gangang, there's nothing they can do about it as well. It's just the perfect timing from Kira here.
And Nazeebo's inching closer and closer to level 20. 1 keep down is fine when you have Falstad. Okay, 4-man defense against 5. beGenius needs to be careful. Are they walking into a trap?
Maybe they are. There's everyone around here except for Falstad, who is continuing to do his own thing by clearing the bot lane and joining when he is needed.
Genji, he's going for Falstad. Falstad just bribed the camp. It was very close for Kira to actually bribe the camp and then get contested on the beacon point, which he would absolutely, I think, lose against Genji.
Yeah, even with the static shield, can't do that much at all. Needs to be very careful. But now, though, Falstad continuing to clear the lane as Genji has already taken the shrine and is actually moving in for a DK. Can Falstad get in time to stop
Another
him?
DK?
Falstad doesn't even fly there. That's going to be the 3rd DK, I believe, of the game, going over to Gangang.
The 4th one, I do believe.
Wow.
And if not the 5th? 4th one, I think. But this is a 14-minute, 50-second Dragonite. It's usually not enough to kill the core unless you have odds advantage as well, but it's 5v5.
Or unless you're Zealots.
No, it didn't work.
It didn't work, but they at least try.
Yeah, well, no points for trying.
Very true indeed. So Raybos, they will at least get a fort. Like you said, they're just continuing to extend their lead. As a famous StarCraft caster close to both our hearts said, when ahead, get further ahead.
Yeah, it's a good move. Going for the top fort now. Will net them level 19.5. beGenius treading water here.
Yeah, playing safe. They don't want to get caught out. Even though the Dragon Knight does more damage to structures than heroes, still chunks. When you have an axe that big, you don't want to get hit by it.
And they play it safely, beGenius. They are so close to level 20, they can almost taste it. 19.2 to step outside of the gate and to get zoned by a Malfury on roots. Crowness is waiting for that moment. Would be the depth of folly. beGenius stays behind their gate, and they must continue to do so.
Yeah, because level 20 about to be achieved by Gangang. And that's basically the beGenius hide in the base key forever until they also have, which they're not too far behind despite this. You look at the map, all 3 forts and 3 keeps available for Gangang. They've taken every Dragon Knight. But the fact is, beGenius are still holding in there. There's still a shot for them.
Now, Gangan is trying to force the situation. They've removed the gate, they've opened up the keep, and they are at level 20. They would love for an overextension by beGenius. Pretend to be the prey, have the predator chase you, and turn it around. But of course, beGenius is playing this out to the T. Exactly how they need to. And at level 20, we'll be expecting to see Nazeebo pick up Vile Infection. We see Uther coming out with Redemption probably, where he can revive once every so often if he dies. Murden, he's got to make a choice whether he'll go for Rewind or perhaps Hardened Shield. Falstad gets his Epic Mount for even more map control. And
maybe he wants extra Gust though. He could go for Wind Tunnel considering how efficiently he's been using it.
Yeah, I mean all 3 level Falstads are so good, so it's really interesting to see.
Mount in this case, and it is heroic difficulty for Ragnaros. Can't blame him. He's been kind of rocking these Molten Cores.
Molten Core does more damage and lasts longer. Let's see. Yeah, it has more health
damage and it has a shorter cooldown.
Yeah, okay.
Which is pretty cool. So we actually see Gangang, they killed their own Siege Giant camp and then waited to cap it to see if they could bait beGenius over. But beGenius not having any of it, even with their level 20s, staying near their own base. So Gangang just pick it up and begin to regroup up near their own Bruiser camp and the top lane.
Now you can see why beGenius would be bottom lane. They have to defend 2 camps, they want to escort their own siege camp, and they need to control 1 of 2 shrines. They can't exactly control both, since Gangan has been grouping up a lot the entire game, which is why the experience is so equal for beGenius. Now, this is a good move, escorting their giants. Murden is anchoring in the middle. Very nice job by beGenius. And Falstad, he's got Epic Mount, which is almost as safe as Bolt of the Storm in getting away from an engage.
It's Bolt of the Storm with a wind-up, which is still pretty good and much longer distance. Always nice to see that talent making its way in. Hunter's Blunderbuss, though, going to be giving Greymane some crazy damage output onto those backlines in the team fights, if we ever see another one, seeing as how passive beGenius are still playing.
I think Murden needs to move up already. Like, you know that there's going to be a steal on the bottom shrine, so they need Falstad to fly top, but he can't do so 1v1 against Genji.
Yeah, there's also 2 Bruiser camps pushing top lane that Falstad's trying desperately to deal with.
Okay, so they're defending bottom instead.
Genji's still there. He's waiting for the DK, and still neutral. 1%. He's holding it. Tag for the win. He's got Rewind, holding himself together, pops the Avatar, trying to stay here. Kurwa moving in to keep everyone alive. Genji from above, going to start poking him down. BKB with that upgraded Army of Northrend is too hard to kill. The Twilight Dream grabbing 4. So Fury Smash does land, but it's not enough. We're seeing unstable Divine Storming to keep himself alive, but it won't matter as we see beGenius crumble and they get taken out. We're going to see Arakin eventually drop down. That Uther healing, keeping him alive. Uther's actually back, but he will drop again too. Dragon Knight gonna move in through the bot lane. And with 40-second cooldowns, that looks like it's going to be it, Grubby.
Yeah, that must have felt terribly unsatisfying for beGenius. They fight the whole game to get to level 20, and once they do, they kind of get outplayed there on the shrine. They were in a very difficult situation where they have to defend Bruiser Camp and bottom shrine at the same time. Genji made a very crucial decision not to grab the DK, but instead help his team. And help he did. Team Gangan set it up wonderfully. And they isolated Murden away, got the Bolt of the Storm Twilight Dream, and managed to drive home this 3rd victory here consecutively to be 3-0 ahead. So well done.
Well done indeed. 3-0 ahead. This is a position that we saw Zealot